Hey guys, welcome to Easel Does It Studio. This is my painting channel, and I tried to get a video to upload the other day and it just wouldn't. So I'm gonna do this kind of like a sunset silhouette painting in oil, and I'm gonna see if I can get it uploaded. So I've got Ivory Black on my palette, Burnt Sienna, Cadmium Yellow, Orange, and Titanium White. So before we start, I am going to cover my canvas with some of the liquid clear. And this just helps the paint be able to slide around better on the canvas. So I have been a self-taught artist. This is going on, next month will be year 4. So I'm just going to turn you back now so that you can see the canvas and kind of see what I'm doing. And I am working on getting my setup a little bit better, so just have to bear with me here. Just gonna spread this down as far as I can get it to go. And then we're just gonna smush it in, smushy, smushy. This was one of the, when I first started painting in oils, because this is going on my second year painting in oils. So when I first started, you know, I used to think that it had to be like completely saturated in the oil. And what that did is, over the course of the paint drying, the oil underneath in the thick spots would kind of run down. And I had these weird blurbs like in the back of my painting, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what it was. And it was because I had my oils too thick. So this is a very important step if you are painting in oil. You want to get it as thin as humanly possible and then wipe it off. And I know it seems like, well, why put it on if you got to wipe it off? But trust me, it makes a difference. And I don't use a paper towel to wipe it. I use a shop towel because you don't have any lint. So this is probably like thin enough. I've gotten good at like spreading it, but I still kind of just wipe it down. Just to be on the safe side, because I had 2 paintings that came out beautiful, but I couldn't sell them because they had these weird marks in them. So they're hanging in my living room. All right, so we are going to get our sky going and our water. So I'm just going to start with orange. And I'm going with my 2-inch brush. I should have used the smaller one, but I'm not. I'm going to just go with this. So we want to go about 1/3 of the way down. And I'm just going to start getting some of this orange in. And then just kind of spray, kind of spray it out a little bit. So you don't just want a gob of yellow. You want it, and I'm going to switch brushes because this one just is not going to work for what I'm trying to do. So let me grab my 1-inch. And you want to leave some of the dark showing through because that is going to help give your sky that dramatic look. And I'm going to just go in with a little bit more. And always start back at your center point. And I'm just going to smooth that down just a little. Now, before I go on to the next color, I'm going to take that same orange. Actually, I want to make it a little bit wider. So. And we're gonna leave a space, and we're gonna just bring this down. So wherever you have that really intense orange, you want to bring that down for reflections in the water. And it's going to look like a mess for a few minutes until okay. Now I just wiped my brush off, and I'm going to pick up yellow. And we're going to put that in the center. And you notice after I go on the outside, I'm not going back into that middle. I'm going to wipe my brush off, and I'm going to bring some of the yellow down. This has been one of my #1 selling paintings, is this, not, this particular one, but this similar look. All right, so I'm going to pick up my clean 2-inch brush, and I'm going to go into some titanium white and some yellow. So we're going to lighten that yellow up even more. And I'm going to pick up the yellow and the white, and we're going to bring that down. Okay. I'm just going to take this, and we're just going to kind of smooth this out just a smidge. And I'm just doing like little X strokes. And just gonna blend this down, and then we're gonna go across. And I'm not worried down here because I'm putting something else down in there, and there's going to be trees and stuff through here, so I'm not too worried about that. So I am going to take my other clean 2-inch brush, and I'm really, really going to lightly blend that in. Just make sure there's no brush marks showing. And then I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to go into the white. And I'm just going to, I picked up some of that yellow, but that's fine. And we're going to put our sun right about here. So I'm going to just try to pick up just white this time. And we're going to do the same thing. So I'm just really trying to get it into my finger. And then we're going to, and then lift straight off. And let me find a small, a blender brush. Barely any pressure. Hold it way back. And we're just gonna kind of set that sun into the sunset like that. Okay, so I am going to clean my brush, which I forgot to get my cleaner out. Let me grab that. And this is just odorless mineral spirits. And I got my bucket here with my rack in the bottom that I just shake all the excess off. And I'll take a clean paper towel. All right, so now I'm going to go into the burnt sienna, and we're going to start adding some clouds, but I'm going to switch. I'm going to use a fan brush. Oop. So I'm just going to load my brush, both sides. And we're just going to make kind of like little scoopy, wispy type clouds. So we're just going to just kind of little rock in motion. Nothing too spectacular. And especially going over where that really light color is, because it's going to make them pop even more. And we're going to do a little one down here. And let's see. Just a little bit more. There we go. And just kind of just to kind of give a little bit of like distant. We're not going to highlight the outside ones, but I just want there to be some difference in color, but leave the original clouds there. So I'm just going to wipe my brush off, and I'm going to go back through and just gently smooth them out before we highlight them. And I'm very lightly basically you're just knocking down that thicker top coat of paint. And I'm just gonna kind of blend these a little bit. All right, so this one, and this one are going to be highlighted on the bottom because the sun is below them. This one is going to have the highlight on the top of it. And I'm going to clean this brush. And we're going to pick up some of that yellow, and we're going to do the same thing over the top. I'm just going to put a little bit more yellow in my palette here. All right, so this one here we're going to highlight underneath. I'm going to flip my brush over, and we're going to do this one underneath. This one. Hang on, I gotta get some more paint on here. And this one we're going to do on the top. And now I'm just going to go through and we're going to kind of blend them together. I obviously didn't use enough paint underneath here, which is very unusual for me. And I'm going to take my big brush now and very lightly blend those all in. And now I've got to, where this is, I've got to bring that white down. just gonna give that a smudge. All right, so we are going to let me clean one of these big brushes here. So we're gonna start putting in some of our trees, our bush line, I should say. Let's see, before I do that, I'm gonna add some more orange and yellow at the bottom. I'm using a different brand orange than I usually I use Winsor and Newton, and that one is an Artist Loft, and I'm not liking the way it's coming out. So I'm just gonna fix this bottom a little bit. So I'm just gonna go in with some of the orange, and we're gonna kind of add a little bit more of that orange into this bottom here. And then I'll just pick up some of the yellow and we'll just go over it, just to build up a little bit thicker paint down in here. And then if I have to do my sun over again, I will. Yeah, that's better. And pick up some more of that white, and we'll bring this down. And that looks better. Because we want our background trees to really be able to stand out next to our night sky. And there's going to be islands over here on the side, but I want some of this paint underneath there just to be on the safe side. Okay. So, and now we're going to take our clean 2-inch brush and we're going to take it and we're going to run it through our black. And we really, really want to get that in there. We want to splay those bristles out. And then we're going to turn our brush and we're going to come up here and we are going to just push. So I'm not doing any arm movement, nothing. I'm just pushing, putting it down and pushing. And you want to, turn your directions of your brush every now and then. So that is looking pretty good. And you want some higher, some lower. And let's see. Just gonna give this a little bit of a shadowed shoreline, just like that. And now we're gonna I'm gonna make two like small islands, one higher than the other, just to give that extra depth. Actually, let me clean my fan brush and we will put it in with that. All right, so I'm gonna take this one and we're just gonna color this in. Just like so. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but we're gonna bring this one down lower. So we'll bring this one right about here. And just color that in. Okay. So before I get too far, I'm gonna take some white and yellow on my palette knife and some of the orange, and we're just gonna make like a sunset color, so it's gonna be reflecting. And so we're gonna just put in, and you want to keep your knife horizontal to the palette, regardless of if you want your water lines to be jagged or not. Always keep it straight. Because you don't want it to look like your water is falling off your canvas. I'm just gonna get just a little bit of movement here. And then obviously this area would be brighter because we've got that sun beaming down. I'm just gonna lighten that up a bit. And I'm going to take my blender brush and just ever so lightly blend that out. So, I mean, you could do this with a bunch of different colors. I do want to do one like this in like a red and an orange. All right, so that's looking good. So now I'm going to go back to my big brush and we're going to start putting some bushes like this down here, and then I'm going to put a few trees through it. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring my brush, get a lot of paint on there, and then again, hang onto your canvas, and we're just going to push up. And I should probably use a smaller brush. And we definitely want some coming off the end. Okay. All right, now let's take a liner brush. After I need some soda first. All right, so I've got a couple of different liner brushes. And I'm going to get some more black out. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my paint thinner, and we're going to thin that black out. Because you want it really runny. And let me show you here. So I'm gonna, and we're just gonna take some of that paint, and we're gonna really, we want it really liquidy. And then I roll my brush in it. And let me test that and see how that is gonna work. All right, so we definitely want, let's see, we'll start right here. And as I'm coming down, I'm pushing a little bit harder. And we're gonna put another smaller one. Coming like that. So when it comes to trees, you can put them wherever you want. I like doing the trees. To me, this is when the painting starts coming together. Now here, this is a little bit too thin, so I'm just gonna thicken that up just a bit, because you want your bottom to always be thicker than your top, or your trees are gonna look like they're gonna fall down. But these are fairly skinny trees, so, you know, they wouldn't be ginormous at all on the bottom, but we definitely want some movement in there. And I'm just gonna thin down some more. I'm gonna wipe my brush off because I got it all goopy. And then this one, we're gonna have even lower than these. Should have used a different brush for this, but I'm already into it now, so I'm just gonna stick with it. So you could use a filbert or, you know, any kind of brush that you can make trees with. So I will be doing an acrylic painting video coming up. For those of you that are just starting out. And let's see, this one I want, actually I'm gonna use my fan brush to put this one in, just because it'll go quicker. that is better. And I'm going to thin. Now you could take out your liquid black if you have any of that. I have some, I just never think to use it, so. I got a goopy on my brush here. So I just wanted to do something fairly quick so that I could see if I can get this to load on my page. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It definitely helps me out. I'm trying to grow this page. This is my second page. I have a resin page, which is just Easel Does It Studio with no painting on the end. And when you get to your lighter areas, that's where your little branches really start like popping out. It's all about light and dark. If you have the light background, you want to do dark over it, and vice versa. And don't be afraid to like cross over your other branches, because that's just going to give it a more natural look. And always make sure the part going into the tree is thick enough that it looks like, you know, it's going into the tree. And I don't want to overdo with the branches, but I wanted something, you know, standing out in the background. And even down here where it's dark, it still doesn't hurt to, you know, put a little something in. All right, let's get this other one going here. See how I crossed that one and came back down? I could do trees and branches all day. And if your brush starts to fray, just go back on your palette and roll it. God, my nose is running. All right, I think that is good. But I'm gonna take some and I'm gonna thin it down even more. And we're gonna put in a few little grasses. And when you do grass, you wanna make sure that you're going in both directions so that they cross over. It's gonna just give you that more realistic look. So you do a few one way, a few another. Some taller, some shorter. Okay. All right, so that is good. Let me wash this brush. So I'm not gonna need it for a couple minutes. All right, so now I'm gonna take my palette knife and I'm gonna take some of the burnt sienna and some of the black. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of ground in here. Oh, you know what, before I do that, I need to put my reflections in. I knew I was forgetting something, so you just want to bring so that's your reflection there. And if you did a pie shape, then you want your reflection to mimic that as well. So you have that and that. All right. So now I'm just going to take this brush with the orange and we're just going to ever so lightly just give that a little reflection of the water so it looks like it's in the water. Okay, now I can put my little land pieces in. You just want it, you know, obviously there's going to be a little bit of dirt. That's why you got to find a different angle. At certain angles I have a hard time. putting my things in. So I mean, you'd see a little bit of it because the sun is like peeking through, but I don't want it to be really bright. So I'm now going over it with just the burnt sienna over the top. Just like that. All right. I'll wipe this off. And I'm going to, let's finish our water ripples. So I'm going to take the yellow and white, more white. And all right, so that sun looks like it's just rippling right on that water. I'm not going to bother going too low down here because we're going to have, this part's going to get covered up. So I am going to take some orange, burnt sienna, and maybe a hint of yellow. Because over here, your ripples would definitely be a little bit darker. You know, the sun is coming through, but not as vibrant as on the front, so. Just so we have a little, a little something. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So you can take your blending brush and you can smooth these down. I kind of like to leave them ripply like that. I just think it gives movement into the painting. especially when you're doing a silhouette and there's, you know, there's not a lot going on. So we're gonna get some more black on our brush, and I'm just going to cover this right here in black. And basically it's just the width of the bristles. And I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just go like that, and then we're gonna flip our brush, and we're gonna spray and, you know, on the sides it kind of disappears, but you still do it because you want, you know, your painting to be cohesive. So you could leave it like that and call it a finished painting. It's beautiful. But I'm gonna add one more little element in as soon as I find my little liner brush again. So again, I'm going to thin down some of that black paint. And I'm gonna thin that down a lot. And I'm gonna roll my brush in my paint, and we're gonna put some like little grass things. Thin it down more. So now I'm just concentrating more on the front. You want to make sure you have different heights. All right, now we will put in a few cat nine tails. So we're going to come up and we're going to push. And let's see. And this brush is not doing what I want it to do, but that's okay. And let's see. If it doesn't work one way, do it another way. So what I'm going to do on these two in the front, because they're big, I'm going to have it like these ones are starting to open. And the same thing with this one. See, it changes the whole painting. And I guess we'll have this one just maybe just slowly starting. So there we have it, guys. What do you think? Now I just need to sign it. So I'm going to probably use the yellow and orange. And granddaughter's just getting home from work. I love you. I'll be right up. Okay. And then I'm going to sign it. And I sign it MCD, which is the first 3 letters in my last name, McDaniel. And then once my painting dries, I fully sign it on the back and I give it a name. And I need to thin that paint down a whole bunch because it's not working. Oh yeah, I'm recording. I'm just signing my name and then I'll be done. I love you. Okay, there's turkey in the fridge. We had turkey. Okay, love you. And then I just put, ooh, I almost screwed up and put 24. This is my very first painting of 25. Very first one. Alrighty, guys, let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you have any suggestions for a name for this painting, I'm open to all kinds of suggestions. So let me just take it off here so I can hold it up and so you can have a better view of the painting. And there we have it, guys. Try to get it so it's straight. Alrighty, and this one is for sale as of right now if anybody is interested. It will take a few days to dry, but yeah, it will be available after that. Alrighty, guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.